On today's Mega News, we discuss what is likely the most strange Rockman.EXE DiVE character design that we've seen yet. And considering what we're used to seeing from this game, that's really saying something. Also, another bad day for preservation. It was inevitable, but Nintendo has indeed started the process to pull the plug on the Nintendo eShop for Wii U and 3DS. We'll discuss what that's all about too, and some manga news for you guys. Oh, and before you ask, yes, I'll go ahead and acknowledge the Capcom countdown as well, even though it's not Mega Man related. All of that coming up in today's Mega News Roundup. Let's rock! Howdy folks, ShadowRock here with your Mega News Roundup for February 21st, 2022. Coming to you from the ShadowRockZX YouTube channel and the MegaManNetwork.com. I hope everybody has had a good last couple of weeks. As once again, there wasn't a lot going on last week, unless you count the Capcom countdown, which we now know is not Mega Man related at all, as I predicted, so there's that. I know when it came up, people were thinking, oh, it could be Mega Man related. No, I knew it wasn't going to be, because if it was Mega Man, either A, they would give us a heads up beforehand, like with Mega Man 11 when they announced ahead of time that there was going to be a Mega Man live stream, and then they did all the 30th anniversary stuff that culminated into Mega Man 11. Or B, they just straight up shadow drop it out of nowhere like they done for almost all of the Legacy collections, except for X Legacy collection since that announcement was bundled in with 11. I'm sorry to say, but Mega Man is not popular enough for Capcom to just do a countdown for a week long leading up to a Mega Man announcement. Yeah, we would be happy about it, but most of the casual crowd would probably be like, okay then? So definitely it made a lot more sense for them to do this for Street Fighter 6, which it ended up being, or Resident Evil, something like that. And they also announced a collection with a ton of classic fighting games, including the entire Darkstalker series coming outside of Japan for the first time. That is pretty cool, and it has rollback netcode. So at least fighting game fans have something to look forward to now from Capcom. As long as Street Fighter 6 turns out to be good, that remains to be seen, to be honest. But to get back to Mega Man, obviously this means we're going to have to wait a little longer to see what Capcom has cooking for Mega Man in general, like Rockman Tyson or anything else. However, when it does happen, I figured it wasn't going to be something like this countdown that they did, which they never really do. Not in a long time at least. Like I said, my prediction is whenever they announce Tyson or whatever, they'll either have it as part of a special event that they put on, as part of a Nintendo Direct perhaps, or they just shadow drop it like they usually do. You know, someone once asked me on stream, why did Metroid Dread get more sales than Mega Man 11 did? The answer is marketing. Nintendo put a ton of marketing behind Metroid Dread. Heck, they nearly revealed the entire game when we didn't want them to. What did they do for Mega Man 11? Oh, here's a trailer every couple months, and then some Robot Master reveals, but nothing really significant in terms of marketing campaigns. And my point with that is, Mega Man is a low budget series, which isn't a bad thing, it just means that they can make more money for less money put into the development. But the low budget also means they don't put a lot of ad dollars behind the Mega Man franchise. They generally know that the hardcore fans are always going to be there. Although, if the series wants to continue, they do have to start pulling in some of the newcomers as well. So you still see the trailers, the tweets every so often and all that stuff, but generally they just assume that word of mouth for Mega Man is good enough for them. You can agree or disagree with that, but that's the way it's always been, so that's why I knew that they weren't going to hype up this Mega Man announcement with a countdown. People who were expecting that, yeah, I got bad news for you. Okay, I think we're done with this topic now, however, so we're going to go ahead and log into the DiVE blog to check out the latest character coming to DiVE. And yep, it's only been a month since the last of the 3 new characters became playable, but now we got the second one, who I'm calling Ange because I'm not good at French words. And holy Booticus, boy, what happened to your bottom half? Hello? What happened? It's like they gave up on the bottom half of this guy's design. What? Did they just have a roundtable discussion? They're like, okay guys, we have a good top half of this design looking pretty cool, pretty slick. But now we need to decide what to do for the bottom half. What do we do? Oh, just give them some shorts or some swim trunks. I don't freaking know. Just put it on there and call it a day. Okay. Honestly, the most jarring thing is this is a Mega Man character, and you have human-like skin just showing bare. If they had covered up that skin with some of the black tights that are already there, like some of the fan redesigns I'm seeing online already, yeah, if they did that, it would make him look more Mega Man-esque. However, like with Draw Claire that we covered last month, the point isn't necessarily to be Mega Man-esque. So in that way, I would definitely say mission accomplished, guys. You did it, for better or worse. And this way, he is definitely another Kid Icarus. In the intro animation, Ange tries to do his best Falcon Armor X impression. Then he proceeds to murder a Metar in cold metal as it's shaking in its helmet. Oh my goodness, Ange is evil. What did that Met do to you, huh? It wasn't even fighting back. Oh right, I forgot. They're all possessed by Sigma, so of course they're Mavericks. It all makes sense now. Darn it, Sigma. So let's move on to Ange's skills. Skill 1 is Rift Flash, which is essentially a blue-colored Nova Strike that leaves a space rift of destruction in its wake, which is triggered by hitting a target with Rift Flash, and the space rift will continuously deal damage. And to continue the comparisons to X, Skill 2 is Annihilation Ray Cannon. This one is as if the double charge shot from Tax, Third Armor X, were a single shot instead. You have the massive shot and then 3 additional tracing shots that ignores terrain. Just like Tax. I guess Ange really wants to be X or something. He even has a Buster Cannon, so why not? Anyways, in case you haven't guessed by now, Ange is our next DiVE Festival character. It was indeed that time for a new DiVE Fest anyways, and it will be running from February 23rd all the way to March 2nd. A single week to get this guy. For our next topic today, it's gonna be a downer one, I'm not gonna lie. Yes, we're getting into Nintendo announcing that they're going to be stopping purchases on the Nintendo eShop for the Wii U and the Nintendo 3DS family of systems. And according to Nintendo on Twitter, this is going to be happening late March 2023. So about a year and a month away from now. And well, what can I say here that I didn't already say when Sony almost pulled the plug on the PlayStation 3 store? And then enough people complain to where they say, okay, we're not gonna do it. For now, trademark copyright registered. Now obviously, this happening to the Wii U and the 3DS as well, only 10 years after those systems came out. Yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow, it really sucks. And Nintendo being Nintendo, most likely, no matter how much people complain, they're not going to be reversing this decision. Now, of course, there are technical reasons why a company may want to shut down their old servers, such as if it's not really being used as much anymore, you're essentially paying more and more money every year in order to keep it running. And Nintendo being a business, it does make business sense for them to shut down a server that they're spending a lot of money on for practically nothing back. Okay, you say, but why doesn't Nintendo just put their legacy content on the Switch eShop? They have one, yes, they can just put it on there. Well, about that. Let's see what Nintendo had to say about that very topic. So this screenshot that was shared by Frank Cifaldi on Twitter comes from a Q&A that was on Nintendo's website shortly after this whole announcement was made. However, as you could probably guess, the reason why we're reading a screenshot instead of the actual Nintendo website is because they took it down not too long after posting. Gee, I wonder why. Let's read it. Once it is no longer possible to purchase software in Nintendo eShop on Wii U and the Nintendo 3DS family of systems, many classic games for past platforms will cease to be available for purchase anywhere. Will you make classic games available to own some other way? If not, then why? Doesn't Nintendo have an obligation to preserve its classic games by continually making them available for purchase? Wow, that sounds word for a question that someone probably emailed them about. And, well, here's Nintendo's answer. Across our Nintendo Switch Online membership plans, over 130 classic games are currently available in growing libraries for various legacy systems. The games are often enhanced with new features such as online play. We think this is an effective way to make classic content easily available to a broad range of players. Within these libraries, new and longtime players can not only find games they remember or have heard about, but other fun games they may not have thought to seek out otherwise. And also, we currently have no plans to offer classic content in other ways. Please don't pirate our games. Yeah, so basically what they're saying here is, just shut up and buy our online membership already, ya fools! Listen, I've said it many times before, I'll say it again. Unless it is a part of something that the company believes they're going to make the big bucks off of, like a collection, or an online service where they give you a bunch of games, but they trickle out like 1 or 2 games every so often, not even every month. No, more like every 3 months or something. Video game companies are not at all interested in preserving their legacy content. Sure, they'll keep everything in the Disney vault, quote unquote, but they don't want your money for their legacy content unless they say they want it. I can't help but comment on how ironic this all is after the recent Nintendo Direct, where a bunch of the announcements were pretty much remasters or full-on remakes of classic video games. Isn't that funny? But don't let the Nintendo Direct fool you. Like I said, video game companies are not going to take responsibility for preserving their legacy content. It's going to be on us, the consumers, the preservationists that upload the ROMs on the internet, those kinds of people, and it's always going to be that way. And hey, we don't condone piracy here at ShadowRockZX, but, I mean, if a company doesn't want to take your money for their old games, who cares how you eventually end up playing it, right? Support the developers financially however you can, but if there is no physical way to actually do that, well, ball's in your court now. When that deadline comes up, March of 2023, after Nintendo no longer wants your money, sure, go ahead and mod that Wii U or 3DS. What's the difference? Nintendo has all but switched over to the Switch now. But hey, in the meantime, if you do want to make some last minute purchases before you can't no longer, since we are a Mega Man channel here, let's discuss what Mega Man fans are missing out on when the 3DS and Wii U eShops close up for business. Now, the Wii U and 3DS existed at a time when we were going through that 8-year Mega Man drought, so in terms of new releases, there wasn't a lot aside from Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 on the 3DS. Do you guys remember the gold Mega Man amiibo? All good times. Although the Legacy Collection on 3DS was redundant when you consider that Mega Man 1 through 6 is already on the Virtual Console for 3DS. We also had all 5 Mega Man Game Boy games, which I believe were the first re-releases for those games. That was a nice thing. And then, exclusive to new 3DS users, we had the Super Nintendo titles Mega Man 7 and Mega Man.EXE 1 through 3. I will say, in that time period before the Switch became a thing, it was pretty nice to play all those games on the go. Switching gear to the Wii U eShop, which had the Virtual Console service as well, there was a wider selection on that service. You had Mega Man 1 through 7, Mega Man.EXE 1 through 3, and while a Game Boy Advance Virtual Console never officially happened on the 3DS, it did happen on the Wii U, and that's where we got Mega Man 0 1 through 4, and my personal favorite, the Mega Man Battle Network games on the Wii U. 1 through 6, Battle Chip Challenge, and in Japan they even got EXE 4.5. Guys, if there is one suggestion I can make before the Wii U eShop goes away, you should definitely get those Mega Man Battle Network Virtual Console ports. Or get the patch from the Rockman.EXE zone and experience it that way. The reason why I say that is because of several reasons that I've gone over in quite a few Mega News videos, but I'll say it again for anyone who hasn't heard yet. On the Wii U, while you can't really connect to other Wii U's to do multiplayer, net battles and all that, Capcom did make it possible to 100% every single game just with your one copy alone. And the way they accomplish that is by using the COM menu, aka the communications menu. From Mega Man Battle Network 2 and on, if you go to the COM menu and then save your game, when you go back to your chip pack, you're going to find all of the secret chips in there. And in later entries in the series, that also includes version exclusive Navi chips and other things that you'll need to complete that library. Oh, and did I mention there's more where that came from? In Battle Network 4, not only did they fix up the emulation issues that kept you from progressing in areas like Woodman scenario, but they added a secret cheat code that allowed you to fight Base XX legitimately. Yes, it's Forte Double XO! And in case you want to fight him legitimately in Battle Network 5 as well, they even put in the effort to make Base Cross available from the start of the game. A previously exclusive e-reader feature in Japan had finally arrived in the West, outside of Double Team DS of course. But now you have it in the GBA versions too. Essentially what I'm saying is, these are the ultimate versions of Mega Man Battle Network. They did make some minor adjustments to the graphics and lowered the brightness a bit to help with epilepsy and seizure issues, but otherwise these versions are practically perfect, especially if you're looking to 100% these games but you don't have access to another Game Boy Advance, any of the other crazy accessories that the series had, or you just don't want to cheat. These are well worth it for the content alone. And it is a shame that these ports days are now numbered. Before, I would say a Battle Network Legacy Collection wasn't really necessary as long as these stuck around, even if it would be nice to make them available on modern consoles. But now that Nintendo is going to make it so you can't buy them anymore next year, yeah, now a Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection would be extremely nice to have. And hey, Capcom, you already have these pretty cool virtual console versions to use as a base for a collection, so you should definitely get on that. Although, if I had to ask for one additional feature, online net battles would be awesome too, even if it has to be its own separate mode from the original games. In conclusion, play the Battle Network Virtual Console ports, get those Game Boy Mega Man games on the 3DS if you want to, support preservation efforts, and don't let anyone tell you that video game companies are still going to honor your purchases 10 plus years down the road as we're seeing here. We're in the age of digital content now, and this is just the reality of it. When it comes time to pull the plug on those servers, everything you bought is going with it. Although Nintendo does say that you can still download your purchases for the foreseeable future, there's still going to come a day when it's all gone. So, do what you can to preserve your purchases before it's too late. Y'all know the drill by now. While we're still on the topic of preservation actually, let's switch gears to our manga news for today. And first up, we have the Battle Story Rockman.EXE mangas that have now been made available digitally on Amazon Japan, Bookwalker, and other Japanese digital stores, going for 1,540 yen each. We've seen a lot of Rockman manga get uploaded to digital stores lately, and it's always awesome to see even more manga show up on these services, obviously for preservation, but now fan translators can grab themselves a copy of high quality scans instead of having to rely on scans done by other fans. Battle Story Rockman.EXE covers the first 4 games in the series, and covers some of the story from Rockman.EXE Battle Chip GP, aka Battle Chip Challenge as well. Check it out on Amazon Japan and other digital Japanese storefronts if you want to pick it up. And well, when it comes to manga news, you know what comes next. Let's talk Rockman-chan and Rockman-san. And before the latest chapters, starting next month, Rockman-san and Rockman-chan are getting compiled into their very first volumes, which is coming out on March 4th, 2022. And thanks to Amazon Japan, we could even get a look at the cover and the back of the books. Rockman-chan's cover goes for that classic Rockman box art style, and I like the retro 8-bit sprite on the back too. And on the cover of Rockman-san Volume 1, we have Rockman-san himself with his helmet, a grown-up role, Gutsman chugging on beer, that's a sight you don't see very often. Stoneman is questioning his existence. And then you have Anchor over there looking cool. Shoutouts to the From 1987 too. The back just has a shot of the gang. Rockman-san, Roll, Anchor, without his helmet. Then Topman, Gutsman, and Elecman, not too bad. As for the brand new chapters, in Rockman-chan Episode 17, Part 2, picking up from the previous part, we see Rockman-chan go to battle against the monsters from the Mega Man 2 European box art, but then a car stops in front of Rockman, and none other than the tin head of a Mega Man from that European box art shows up out of nowhere to save the day. Ooh, shiny. Yeah, that's about par for the course for this manga. It gets better and better every chapter. Meanwhile, in Rockman-san Chapter 20, Rockman and Roll visit the dinosaur park from Mega Man 7, aka Slashman stage, and inside they encounter Yamato Man and Nightman, who are making their debut in this manga. As always, shenanigans ensue. We even get to see a human-faced version of the 2 robot masters at the very end. Oh dear. And that's gonna do it for today's Mega News Roundup, everybody. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. As always, stay tuned to ShadowRockZX for all things Mega Man, and consider visiting the Mega Man Network for editorials, reviews, and the Mega News Roundups like this video. That's themmnetwork.com. If you'd like to support the channel, we do have our channel membership here on this YouTube channel, where you can support for as little as $1 a month for a variety of perks. And speaking of, I would like to thank our GA class supporters, LML123, Vince Crystals, Adrian Cauldron, Chaos Bankai, Rico Syndrome, and Austin Buford. It's thanks to your support that these videos still come out somehow. So, thank you everyone from the bottom of my heart. Until the next live stream, which should be this Wednesday, going to check out that Rockman.EXE dive content, and other Mega Man videos and streams. Rock on everyone! Have yourselves a great time zone.